think we may be, yes, we are live from the Health Hub at Quarriers. And with me today, I've got my friend Alex Mitchell, where it's a pretty exciting day for the Health Hub and for Alex, because he's just done his first Superhuman.
Yeah, that was...
How are you feeling?
Very impressed, and yeah, some massive differences already. I think I've got to be honest and say that only my wife and myself knew that I'd shoulder issues and I'd hip issues and I'd a calf issue. I think I've told you about the cramp in the calf, but that was permanent because the calf muscle was kind of locked and has been for 5 years. And after just straight away, I noticed the shoulder.
It's crazy how it picks it up so quickly.
And I can actually feel the shoulder easing already. So yeah, the PEMF was a real shocker for me because I didn't know what I was in for. And
you just trusted me.
Yeah, it's hard not to trust you. So yeah, I was really taken with the PEMF. Wasn't looking forward to the EWOT, mostly because of the movement, but I found that obviously using the bicycle made it easier for me. And for the first time in 5 years, I've managed to work this leg, with muscles is left. So the quad muscle and the hamstring have been used, and I've noticed a big difference, but the biggest difference is calf muscle. Because it's not solid anymore. It's quite tender, which I'm quite surprised at. So if that's all I get out of it, I've won. I'm absolutely over the moon.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can achieve over the coming weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because today was a base.
Yes.
I did so much more than I thought I was going to do.
Well, yeah, because I know your steely grit, determination. The fact that you're still here tells us, for those of you that are not aware, have not met Alec before, he lost a leg after the AstraZeneca vaccine, and he's really had 5 years of abject hell. And I met Alec a year and a half ago up in Skye when we ran a retreat for the injured, and we became friends, obviously, and I saw his story. You can watch. We've done other podcasts with the full story. We're really here today to talk about the Superhuman, but he's obviously. I'll explain a little bit that if the leg doesn't fit for any reason, they take it away, and so for quite a few parts of these 5 years, you've not had the leg.
It's been the last 5 years. The first 6 months were fantastic. I managed to get myself walking without sticks, and then after about 6 months, the muscle come off the bone.
That's right.
And we knew that the only option was an operation, but because of the condition that I've got and the situation, they couldn't operate on me because it was too risky. So for 2 years, we tried alternative therapies within the physio side of it, from the prosthetic side, and it never really worked. And ultimately led me to take a gamble, a huge gamble, and going in for a second amputation. And obviously you've got recovery for that. It takes about 6 months. So then I got the leg, and I got myself back into shape. Took a lot of work, and I went and I got a microprocessor knee, which is a computerized one, which is an incredible piece of equipment. And I went on holiday and put on weight. And the minute you put on weight, the socket doesn't fit. So you have to get recast, because I needed to keep the weight, and I wanted to keep it because I lost 3.5 stone when I was in the hospital. And I wanted to put a bit of weight on. Unfortunately, the recast didn't work. Basically, I kept putting on weight. So that left me, it took 7 months to get the recast from start to finish. I couldn't really wear it. So really for the last 3 years, I've maybe wore it 3 months in total, if I'm lucky. And it wasn't the first time I met Lilia, I was still overweight and the cast hadn't worked. And Lilia could see as anyone could see, that I was in a lot of pain trying to wear it. So I went 7 months there without wearing it, and now I'm back with the new socket that seems to be fitting really well. So the problem with that is you then go back to the beginning, which means you've been back 5 years, unfortunately, because you've been back to the very beginning because your body's not used to the weight of your prosthetic. It's not, the muscles don't like it, the skin doesn't like it. So I'm about coming up for 2 weeks into it, and it's been so far, fingers crossed, everything's going well. So this was a perfect time to start the Superhuman treatment protocol.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Michelle, your wife, she's really noticed the difference, as I have, in the limited time I've seen you since you got it. I'm like, oh, you're just, your whole face and your, because the last time that it was really hard to watch the pain that you were in every time you tried to move. So for you to be in a position now where you can walk without pain, albeit you say you're starting again, but you're a hardy hooer.
I'm a glutton for punishment, it seems.
But your cell memory's there. Do you know what I mean? You know how your body will respond really quickly.
I'm really looking forward to I've got 3 main kind of things I can achieve. The first one is the brain fog. If we can sort of clear that up in some way, that would be a massive improvement. The fatigue is terrible. I've got to sleep in the afternoon for about 2-3 hours probably every day, just because I get so exhausted. So anything can improve that. The calf muscle was an improvement, but for me, because obviously I was in permanent cramp because of the damage it was done to the right calf as well, and there's no suitable alternatives. The options are to put stents in, but there's too much a risk of losing the leg, and there's too high a risk of me not surviving it. So that's not an option. So it's really looking at other alternatives. And if I can get away from the cramp in this, that would be, if I can achieve those 3 things, then it's a game changer. Even if I get one of those things, it's a game changer. But the fact that already this calf muscle is unlocked is
exciting.
I'm struggling for words here, to be honest with you, because when something's been a certain way for 5 years, you get into your head that it's never going to change.
Of course.
Yeah, and part of the bigger difference is facing being in a wheelchair all the time is not a positive future to outlook on. So anything I can do that gets me a bit more mobile.
Yeah.
And that's basically the idea. So I'm really, really encouraged by what I've seen so far, and we're literally half an hour after the treatment.
Yes.
We'll see tomorrow how I feel, mind you.
Well, this is the thing, we've put Alex through the full protocol today, and we are going to observe how he feels, because obviously when we put the body under stress, the body then responds and will need to rest for the next 48 hours to, restore and repair, etc. But you're well used to the ups and downs, and you always say to people, when the body's shutting you down with fatigue, it's because it's saying, look, can you just lie down till I try and fix this? And so we initially thought we'd put Alex on the treadmill, because there's 2 ways you've got to get your pulse rate up to get the EWOT. However, he went on the bike, and it was really nice it was hard work. I could see in his face that it was hard work to get it going, and he was going backwards, and bearing in mind for 5 years he's not been able to do anything like this. So, and then what happens is it can be a bit of a charge at first when the liver's taking all the oxygen, and then it becomes a bit easier, and he ended up doing way longer than the 15 minutes. But also it's a balance, it's very different, even working with men and working with women. Men like to push through, women usually like to just do it in a more measured way. And the only way that we can really find out how the body's going to respond is by trying it. And then we can adjust. He had quite a bit of PEMF today because the shoulder injury and things going on in the leg, on his good leg. So we want to make sure, and your oxygen levels were great. So it's all good so far. So we're going to be documenting his journey, not like every single time, but we'll tune in maybe every second week, and you can see, because obviously I've only been in the Health Hub for 7 weeks, working with people who have got all variety of different dis-ease. So what I'm seeing already is so exciting, and it brings hope to people that maybe for a while have been hopeless. And I really see this place as a gym, a nature gym. You come in, you get the electricity, you get the light, you get the oxygen, and then you go home. And if you keep on doing that, then something will change. And as I know, a lot of it happens up here. And when Alex was, after he'd collapsed, this whole family were sent for. He was genuinely not meant to be here. More than once, they didn't think he would be able to survive. But that spirit that is in there, because I said to him the first time I met him, I was like, you survived for a reason. You know, there's work to be done. And so he's hugely inspirational, because whatever is wrong with you, we're looking for people that have got that level of spirit that are willing to give it a try. The worst that can happen is nothing, and the best that can happen, well, who even knows what that could be now? And like Alex was saying there about very often, be lovely, is eureka, I'm cured, but very often the alleviation of the symptoms just makes life so much easier. So, a reduction in pain, an increase in mobility, an increase in energy. I'm about to put him on the microbiome test as well, just to see what's going on in the digestive system, because clearly this level of injury brings an enormous amount of stress, and we know that stress obviously has an impact on the digestive system. So we're going to be looking at it as a very holistic picture, and so just watch this space and see what we can achieve. And there's a website. What's the Scottish Vaccine?
It's the Association for Vaccine Injury in Scotland. So really anyone in Scotland that's been affected, or a member of the family's been affected by primarily a COVID vaccine, but any vaccine, there's a website there that will give you support, help, and basically an understanding. And I think that's the key. You don't get gaslit, because we have been experiencing being gaslit for 5 years, so we understand, because it's all vaccine injured or representatives of vaccine injured that are in the charity. There's resources there, there's links to Heal Scotland. There very well shortly be a link to the Health Hub. I think it's going to be set up the next day or so. And for anyone that's out there that's in a dark place, I say this all the time, I've got two sayings. I can't come into your darkness and be a guiding light out of it. No one can come into my darkness and be a guiding light out of it. You are the only light in your darkness. Remember that and shine your light out. And you really don't know how strong you are till it's all you've got. And if I'm not anything else, I'm the living proof of that. That there's a strength in all of us that's there. You've just got to go and find it. Unfortunately, for most people, it takes something traumatic and life-changing, whether it be a disability or a condition or an illness, to put them into that place. But you don't need to be ill or vaccine injured or anything to realise that strength's inside you. We've all got it. You've just got to go and find it. But I'm really, really positive about the next chapter, because I see this now as chapters in my life. What's happened to me in the past, I can't change that, and I know what I want the future to be, but here and now I can try and work on what the issues are. And as I say, if I can get the brain fog, the fatigue alleviated, the constant cramps, then who knows? Who knows what else is possible? Yep. Exactly. Maybe running a marathon next year. You never know. I would not be surprised. Hi Debbie, how you doing? The other thing I would like to talk about when Alex is on here, because obviously I've made quite a few new friends since I started running retreats for the vaccine injured, because those of you who know, my brother was very badly damaged by the vaccine, so it's very close to my heart. And I knew that there was no real help and support, and they were being ignored and almost made to feel like they were lying. So I've been very close to that.
So it's really, I'm very, very motivated and driven to help. But I think the community, because we were talking about it when everybody came together in Skye, which is a big old drive. It's an ask to take people to Skye. We're in this phenomenally beautiful location, but we just all got together and we're like, right, come on, how do we move forward from this? All the anger and the pain and the betrayal and the abandonment and all of that everybody's experienced, but I don't think we've ever seen anything quite on this scale before. So it's really important that we, the people, don't sit about and wait for the government or Big Pharma to come and fix this, because it's not going to happen. What we're doing here is we're looking absolutely 100% for solutions, but the community and the support, being listened to, all of that stuff's completely invaluable. And we now have this community. Billy, who's kind of fronting the charity,
He's
isn't
the
he?
chairman of the charity.
Yes. His wife was, he was fine. He didn't take it, I don't think,
No,
did he?
no, it's
But his wife did. And so there's all these different stories, and really, it's without judgment, who took it, who didn't, it's all that's in the past now. How are we going to move forward, and how are we going to help and support people that are in a very dark physical, mental and emotional way? That's what we're doing. So if that is you, or if you have somebody in your family, we're doing an open day here for the vaccine injured.
Tuesday the 9th of June.
Tuesday the 9th of June. So you are more than welcome. We will help you find your community, your tribe, where you can talk openly about what's happened, about your level of suffering, about all the crazy stories that so many people have got that can be listened to with compassion. And, very often even telling your story puts the body into a different state of ease. And we have, Alex, obviously a hardy guy, doing the Superhuman protocol, because I'd said to him initially on the phone, I was like, look, are we looking to maybe get some stuff into your house? But he said, no, I want to come here. And, I know you've got chronic fatigue. Coming somewhere like this can take a day's energy. So I'm very aware of that. But I do believe that coming in where everybody's positive, everybody's like, there's so many great things happening in here that it's very exciting. And that the level of people around that really know how to support you and are willing and able to support you is part of the medicine.
I totally agree with you. I think it's very easy once you start to isolate yourself, it's very easy to get comfortable being isolated and being in your own company, and that's not good for you long term. So, for me it was about, well, if I want to get something out of this, I've got to put something into it. So that meant, force yourself, make the commitment to come to the health hub. Plus, fact is, it is a really wonderful setup. The equipment's fantastic. The people are super friendly and super knowledgeable. So that's and very welcoming, and that in itself can be healing, because that energy helps you. You mentioned Skye. Skye was a special place. It's a special place anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a special because it was the first time ever in 3 years at that time, 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
That I had been the company of many vaccine injured as opposed to just one or two. So you've got that common spirit, and you're not gaslit, you're accepted for your story, because it's your story and everybody's got their own story. And the reality is that my trauma is no different from anyone else's trauma. The circumstances may be different, but trauma's trauma. So I don't, it's not about I'm worse than you, I'm better than you. We're all in the same place. We're vaccine injured, or we've got health issues. And it's being somewhere where you have that collective energy, even that in its own, that positive energy is helpful and healthy and healing. We all come away from Skye feeling listened to, acknowledged, accepted, and that's a huge thing mentally that makes a massive difference. So, I think to get something out of this, you've got to put something into it. So I would highly recommend coming down to the health hub, because the setup in itself is beautiful. Plus the the journey down is it's a pretty journey. It's a lovely road, and you're in a
really
lovely
is.
place. The place is absolutely beautiful. The surrounding area is beautiful. So even that energy is healing in its own way.
Yes. Even my son, when he came over, he said, "Oh God, it's beautiful over here,"
Yeah.
because it's not really a place you'd come to unless you knew you were visiting somebody in this area. And we're very, very lucky that Jonathan has invested so much into the equipment here. We have got the best equipment, and we're looking at lots of ways to help people access this. And the Vaccine Injured charity are raising money to help and support people. And I keep saying we want to help people at home, we want to help people in the community and in their businesses. We can bring these products in. We need them all over the country. It needs to be accessible, So
Yeah,
somebody knocking there.
yeah, I think so.
Sorry to interrupt, it's just to see if you want your partner in with you.
No, we're just doing a live.
So
It's okay. Yeah, so that's where we are here. We're so lucky. And like I was saying to Alex, and I'd said to my brother, for the first time since this has happened, I have real hope. What can be achieved? The people that have been doing this protocol are all the big brands, big super fit brands, and they're using it for performance and for extremely high sports level and performance and businesses. But we are now looking at this for chronic dis-ease. And, we're talking right now about people that have got vaccine injury, but long COVID, there's people that are unwell that have not the vaccine. I know that because I speak to them, but got very similar symptoms. So it doesn't really matter why you're not well. This can help at this very gentle level. And you don't need to have the whole 3 steps. You could just do oxygen if you want to. You can have hyperbaric. You can just have the red light. You're going to get ease from even one of these things.
Yeah.
And with the PEMF, Alec was saying about his shoulder, which we didn't know about, but the fascia, the PEMF works brilliantly with the fascia. So if your tension and pain is held in there, you will very, very quickly feel the difference. And people can't believe that. But when you understand the fascia, yeah, of course, you're going to feel it in one session. So what happens then when you repeat and how much healing is possible? And what Alec was saying about the cramp, he didn't come here to get his calf eased, but that's one of the things that happened. And the same thing happened for me. I'm going to do a live now. I've got all my kit back on my results of the Superhuman. But the body heals the things that it decides to heal, not that we decide. And we don't really know what that's going to be. We might go into this for a reason, and then you start to realise, oh, that feels better, that feels better. It's just interesting how healing happens. It's non-linear. You still have good days and bad days within the process. That's a given. We're human. We change. We're energy, and the energy moves and shifts. But there is such hope with charging the body at the cellular level. And Jonathan always says it's like it seems to just give people the wee push over the hill, the immune system, the wee push over the hill that it needs to give it the energy to heal. So
I think for me, my expectations, I know that I can't be cured. I'll never get back to the health that I was, but that's not what it's about. It's about improving the level of health that I have at the moment. And if I can take that to a level that is better than what it is just now, then that's got to be a positive, good thing.
absolutely.
And that's where I am. I couldn't care what's affected your health, whether it's a vaccine or any other condition. It's the fact that you're in poor health, and I want people to be helped. And this is a way that, non-invasive way that can do it, because I'm not allowed to have anything invasive because it's too dangerous for me. So therefore it's got to be looking at these things that I would never have looked at 10 years ago. I was a scaffolder, so I was used to my body getting hammered. But this is a different way of looking at health. And a lot of it starts from the mind, and then there's the eating. You've got to get the right diet. And that's hard as a scaffolder because we tend not to be the best dietitians in the world. So I've had to change my diet, and I've noticed even a massive difference in that. you know.
Mhm.
So I'm just looking forward to what we can achieve over the coming weeks to see what kind of progress we can make.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting times, and it's simply about charging. The body is a battery. Each cell holds a charge, and we're all running in red. And now these biotherapies can really help charge up. And then what else is possible for healing? Yeah. So thank you for being
No.
such a good sport.
Thank you.
And follow Alex's story. You'll see. I'll be going live on here with him. We'll give you a wee update every couple of weeks. Have a great day. Ciao.
Enjoy, everybody.